couple of months ago I did this video where I talked through every single manga series that I have completed, DNF'd, or am in the process of reading. And on today's video I am taking those 92 series that are in progress and turning them into a list of 20 series that I plan to prioritise. Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty, aka Beth Bookish, and as I said, I am bringing you 20 series that I plan to prioritise. Now, whether this be because I own them and therefore it kind of seems criminal not to get to them, or they're just ones that I am super excited to get to, or even ones that I'm not even sure I do want to complete, but I will at least continue. And so I want to prioritise getting to those to make sure that it is one that I want to continue. I just thought I would think about it and then bring it to you and let you know what I plan on doing. Coming in at number 20, we have A Man and His Cat by Umi Sakurai. I do own the first one. I don't know why I didn't bring it down to hold it up, but I don't want to stand up because I will probably fall over if I do. But this follows a man who, after his wife dies, he ends up adopting a cat, and it's the first time he's ever owned a cat, and it's just watching these two bonding. I've read the first two, I've loved them, and even though I don't own them, I know I can get hold of them not too difficultly, so that one is on the list. At number 20, we have Perfect World by Rie Aruga. There is another one as well, Sheltering Eves, but that one only just got knocked out of the 20 because this is one that I own the first one physically, and I think of the two, this will be the one that I have the most kind of resonance and interest in, because it's following adults and not school children. So, you know, I feel like I'd be a bit more invested in this one. And we follow a main character who is in a wheelchair, and he reunites with someone that he knew from high school, and the pair fall in love. So you've got him with his disability and her learning how difficult it is to be disabled, but also how difficult it can be to love someone with a disability. And it just follows them navigating that romance, and it's kind of like a will they, won't they work it out? I'm assuming they will, but you never know. At number 18, we have My Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku. I've read the first two. I only have one more to go, which is why this one's on the priority list, because, you know, one more and I'm done. And this follows a woman who is now in her 40s, and her daughter is kind of getting into the anime otaku scene, and she's reflecting back on what it was like for her when she was young to be an otaku and how things have drastically changed, and we get a bit of a memoir back to her teen years. I wasn't quite a 90s otaku. I was a early 2000s to kind of 2010. I was in that era of otaku, so there are some things in there that are very reflective for me and very reminiscent, and then there are other things where it's like, by my generation we had moved on, but it has been a joy. And it's been like, they're talking about my favorite anime and manga from that period. We've got Inuyasha mentioned, we've got Gundam Wing, and I've just been having such a fun time with it. The next one I put on this list before I filmed, and then I took like a 5-6 week break from any filming, and in that time I have now finished it, but I haven't removed it from the list because I figure I might as well tell you it, and that was Bad Boys Happy Home. And honestly, I ended up not liking this. Each volume got weaker and weaker, and the storyline kind of became nonsensical, and it became very difficult to track who was who and what was actually going on. But the premise was still really good, where you've got these two bad boys. One is homeless, the other one is kind of living on his own. They start off by having these daily brawls in a local park, and then when the one that lives on his own realises that the other one is homeless, offers him a place to stay, because that's what you do with the guy you've been pummeling for the last 3 months, isn't it? But, you know, boy love, they fall in love, and there were some topics in there that do get very uncomfortable. It does feature, like, underage stuff, and I also didn't like the fact that by the third book it did become quite explicit, and I was like, not comfortable reading that about teenage. Certainly one of them was 17, and I'm like, yeah, okay, he's only a year out from being an adult and from not being a minor, but he is still a minor, and it still makes me uncomfortable. I am still working on that video. I promise you, it is gonna happen this year. where I break down the problems with boy love and why it is problematic and why I'm a hypocrite for reading it. But you know, okay. Moving on to number 15, and we have Breakfast with My Two-Tailed Cat. This originally wasn't on the list at all. However, I went on a date. Yes, I am dating someone, and so far so good. I have very fuzzy vibes, very happy vibes. But yes, I went on a date and we ended up in the manga store because he also reads manga. In fact, I picked up 2 manga volumes because of him. I said to myself, I'm only going to pick up volumes for things that I already own and want to continue, and I'm not even kidding you, I went to 3 stores and almost none of them had what I was looking for. So I did end up coming home with 2 things that are starting series, but I did come home with a couple that continued, and one of those is Breakfast with My Two-Tailed Cat. This is another widower story, only this time they already had the cat, and after his wife died, the cat became magical and turned itself into a sort of, is it a yokai? Nekomata, and wanted to keep him company because he didn't want his daddy to be sad and alone. And so he can talk, and he's like human size now. In fact, he's bigger than human size, and it's just adorable. And I am worried though that this is going to be a bit too much of the same of the first volume, and if it is, then I won't continue the series. But I did at least want to get to the second volume to decide that. At number 14 we have I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. We all know I loved the first 4 or 5 that I've read. I didn't realise that the series had continued until about 6-7 months ago, and now that I am aware, there's I think another 2 or 3 volumes out, so I would like to try and catch up with that series. We follow 2 college students, one of which is deaf, the other one signs up to become a note taker for the deaf one, and they end up intertwined in each other's lives and falling in love, and I loved it so much, so I want to continue with that one. At number 13 we have Kusunosuke is flunking her high school glow up. It could be wrong, but it's here. I've only read the first one. I don't own any of the others in physical, which is why this is a little bit lower down on the list, but it is one that I would like to prioritise because the first one was so stinking cute, because not only was she the shy, quiet, quirky nerd who was a little bit overweight in middle school, a little bit kind of wallflowery, and over the summer has really worked on her image and really worked on trying to work on her confidence, only her confidence is still kind of below the floor level, and so she ends up recruiting a guy who hates pretty girls. He is absolutely traumatized and cannot cope around pretty cute girls, and then this pretty cute girl comes up to him and is like, hey, I would love you to help me with my confidence because we were friends in middle school. And he's like, holy shit, it's you. And she's like, holy shit, it's you, because both of them have kind of had a glow up. I think actually he was the one that was overweight and a bit chubby, and so he worked on losing weight and getting a bit fitter for high school so that he wasn't that nerdy, but they are both nerds and it's so cute and I loved it and I had a great time. So I will be continuing with that when I can get hold of it. Coming in at number 12, another boys love manga, is The Birds of Shangri-La. I am 50-50 on this one, which is why it's on the list, because I don't know if it is one that I do want to finish, but it is only 3 volumes long and I know where I can get a hold of it. And yeah, this one is an island where there is a brothel of sorts. However, it's one where it's all respectful. You have to even be invited to go to this place to be with the birds of paradise, you have to go through an extensive background and security check, and they are treated so well. We follow, is it Fee? I'm pretty sure his name's Fee, and I can't remember who the new guy is, but you've got a guy who's going through a divorce, is like, I need a break, I need a fresh start, I need something. Sees that there's this job as like, basically he prepares them for the intimacy that they're going to have. There are a few rules, like you're not allowed to get the person to finish, you're just there to kind of stretch them out, get them prepared, get everything ready, and no falling in love, only, you know. Even though he is straight, he starts to think, maybe I'm not so straight, and we follow that. But Fee has got some trauma and there's some stuff going on there that I think we're going to go deeper into in volume 2, and I am very intrigued about their dynamic. I just want to see where that relationship's going to go, but I'm also worried that I'm not going to enjoy how, not enjoy, but I'm going to struggle with the trauma side of things. We shall see how it goes. At number 11 is one that I want to try and catch up on, and that is The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today. I have read up to volume 8. I believe it's now up to volume 10 or 11. And it's another cat manga. Yes, there is a lot of cat manga on this. I wonder why. You've got Yukichi, who is a kitten that was rescued by Saku. I nearly said Asaka, but no. Saku rescued him when he was homeless and a kitten and out in the streets. She rescued him from certain death, and in return he could see how hopeless she is at looking after herself and that she is basically just a train wreck not waiting to happen. This train wreck has happened and is a crash site extraordinaire, and he goes, I'm going to grow big and strong so I can take care of you. And oh boy, does he, because this is not like a scale thing, this is his actual size. He be huge, he be big. And the hilarious thing is that everyone in the community, like he goes grocery shopping and things, everyone thinks that he's just a weirdo wearing a fursuit, not realizing he's a real cat. And it is brilliant and I love it so much. And there is now this unfolding, potentially it's extraordinarily slow burn, even by my standards. I'm at the point of, can we kind of start doing something with this? But there is a hint that maybe between her and her colleague, that there may be a romantic kind of subplot there, and it will be so funny to watch his reaction to Yukichi. I can't wait. At number 10 is Blue Exorcist. Is it because I'm really in love with the story and desperate to continue? No, not really. It's more because my uncle owns either all of them or most of them. I think he's got like the first at least 20, maybe more of these. And so I've read volumes 1, 2 and 3. I own volumes 1, 2 and 3. I am really enjoying them. They're all 4 stars so far. None of them have like been boring or disappointing. One of them made me tear up because Shiro is just, no, Kuro. I'm sure it's, Shiro is the dad, Kuro was the cat. The cat made me cry. In the anime it makes me cry, in the manga it made me tear up. And I absolutely do love Shiemi, just she is such a cute little bean. So I am eager to see where that's gonna go, and I know that this differs very much from the anime, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the author's true vision was, and I am looking forward to continuing that. At number 9 we have the Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride. This is one that I picked up earlier this year and got as an ARC on NetGalley. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought the art was beautiful. The story was a little bit confusing. The world building was not great, but I did really enjoy everything else about it, and I am looking forward to continue. And this is another one where, again, I wasn't going to get to this one straight away, but when I was shopping I saw that volume 2 was available, and I think in English we've now got up to volume 3 or 4, and I do plan the next time I head into Birmingham, I do plan on picking those up from Waterstones. And I love this. She was basically tainted by a demon when she was a child, spent most of her life being basically bullied and tormented by her local community because of it, and then he comes along and is like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna marry her, turn her into my bride, and she's gonna make me one of the most powerful men in the world. He is so, even though he barely knows her, he is so supportive of her and is just like, that's my woman, that's my girl. And there is one scene in the first one where she kind of kicks in a bit and he just steps, rather than sort of step forward to back her up or protect her or take over from her, he steps back and he's like, off you go, queen. We love a king. He's not actually a king, but he is a king to me. And we stan a love interest that knows when to stand back and let his woman shine. Like, he was still there. He was still very threatening and imposing, but it was kind of just, you know those videos on TikTok at the minute where it's like, my partner has something to show you and you better be nice about it. It's like that, except he is actually threatening you. And it's great. I love it. And I can't wait to carry on with their dynamic. Coming in at number 8, we have Zombie Loan. Again, this is one I wasn't planning on continuing, but I do own, I've read the first one this year. I own volume 2, I'll be reading that in October. And then when I was out on my date, they had volume 4 in one of the shops we went into and it was on sale, so I grabbed that and I was like, well, I had a quick look online and I can get it online, like volume 3. So I was like, well, that means that I've got 3 more volumes that I can continue. So even though I probably won't finish the series anytime soon, I can at least continue it. Michiru is a teenage girl who can see basically these rings around people's necks, and if she sees that, it means that that person is inevitably and pretty soon going to die. And she sees, like, the darker the ring, the closer you are to death. And she sees one day that there are these 2 boys in her school year who the year before were involved in a bus accident and they were the only survivors, and she sees that they both have black rings around their neck. So she's like, well, they're dead, and realizes that they are actually zombies and they have been brought back to life, but they are under a contract where they have to hunt down these evil ghouls and spirits. And she ends up being dragged in and they're like, hey, that's a really interesting ability that you've got here. You're now our bitch and you're going to help us. And she's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, you think you got a choice? So it's a very interesting dynamic. It's very mid to late 2000s. 2010s in this. There are a few things that did make me uncomfortable with the way they were talking to each other, but I did have a good time and I am looking forward to continuing. Number 7, we have Spy Family. I literally only have 1 more volume to catch up with this. I was caught up, but the latest volume came out like 2 weeks ago, so I'm gonna get it, catch up on it, move on. I think it's kind of obvious that I love it. It's great. It did start dragging a little bit, but it has picked back up a little bit now, and I feel like some of the plot is moving forward a tiny bit more, which is great because I was reaching a point where I was thinking about dropping the series, but now it's hooked me back in and I love it. I don't think I need to explain it, but just in case you have no idea what it is, we have a spy who is sent on a mission to try and find out some information about this guy. The only way he can do it though is to enroll a child, come up with like this fake family and try and get through this guy's son who goes to this really super elite boarding school. So he ends up adopting Anya, this little girl, and marrying Yor, who he does not know is an assassin. Plot twist, Anya is telepathic and therefore she knows that Papa is a spy, Mama is an assassin, and her dog can see the future. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's so fun and it's obvious that there are feelings now starting to come into play. And I don't just mean romantic between Yor and Lloyd, I mean things like parental. My heart. I cannot. At number 6 we have the Yakuza's Bias. This one is both because I had a great time reading the first volume and also because it is only a duology. I only have the second and last one to go. This is hilarious because you've basically got a guy who is a Yakuza who's the Yakuza's boss, his daughter, so his employer's daughter, loves K-pop and is like, hey, you're gonna come along with me to a concert and be my bodyguard. And he's like, oh god, only falls in love with one of the, not literally falls in love, but one of the idols in particular catches his attention. He's just like, oh my god, who is this man? How is he so manly yet so confident in being not manly, and all of this, and it just kickstarts him into a K-pop journey. And it is the funniest shit ever because they write it in such a way that like they're doing dealings and everyone listening thinks it's drugs or something really bad, and it's not. It's like trading cards and stuff. It is so fucking funny, especially when one of his rival Yakuza also end up biasing, and it's so fun. So I do want to get that one finished. And now we've got the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is one that I think I'm close to making a final decision on, and it's only taken like 20 volumes to get there, and that is One Piece. I am still not convinced that this is a series for me. I'm really struggling to love the story and the characters. I have said that the arc that I'm on now, the Baroque works, I'm giving it till the end of that arc. If by then I'm still not completely invested and wanting to continue, then I think, because I have tried the anime recently, I didn't even get past the first episode. I was just like, I'm not in it, I don't want to know. And yes, I did watch it in Japanese before anybody comes at me being like, oh, you just didn't watch it in the right language. I tried it in Japanese, I then switched to English thinking maybe I would prefer the dub. No, I just didn't like it. And honestly, I have really been loving the live action. I'm close to rewatching it again, and I just prefer the live action. And I know there are people that might want my blood for that, but that is my truth and that is my honest opinion. If you're not super invested in the story and don't want to go fully in, the live action is perfectly fine. So yeah, I have got one more like compendium of 3. So, you know, we'll see. I could change my mind, but currently I'm about 75% decided that I will DNF, but we shall see. I don't think I need to explain One Piece, do I? Just pirates. A ragtag group of people calling themselves pirates trying to find a legendary treasure. That's about the very simplistic term that I can give it, but I think everyone pretty much knows what One Piece is by now. It's been 30 years. Number 4, we have Sign of Affection, and similar to I Hear the Sunspot, it does feature death rap. I feel like this one does it a little bit better in that it talks about the actual deafness in a different way to I Hear the Sunspot. It is a bit insta-lovey for my likes, but it has been so beautiful. I am thinking of picking up the anime because it's on Crunchyroll and I have a Crunchyroll subscription, and I can get to that a lot quicker than I can get to the manga. But it is definitely one that I want to continue, and I am definitely going to pick up more from this series. If not this year, definitely early next year. So like my birthday's in January, so I might just go and treat myself to the next few volumes of this. We shall see. But in this we follow Yuki and his name always Itsuomi, who meet at university. Yuki is still very sort of scared about the world and a bit sheltered and shaded. He is very worldly, has done a lot of travelling, speaks multiple languages. He kind of finds himself fascinated by her and decides he wants to learn sign language, and then kind of is like, actually, she's adorable. I think I really like her. And she just kind of immediately is like, oh my god, he's incredible. And so they start a relationship. And I don't think they've quite admitted feelings or anything yet where I'm at. No, they haven't. They're close to it. I got to volume 3. They are very close to getting into that relationship, but they're not quite there yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing that evolve. At number 3 is another one that's just, I think I've only got 1, maybe 2 to catch up on, and that is Dinosaur Sanctuary, which was my manga of the year last year. And yeah, we follow a literal dinosaur sanctuary. They found a random island where somehow miraculously dinosaurs survived. They took the DNA of those dinosaurs, managed to clone them, and there was this big boom in popularity of dinosaurs, and these kind of like sanctuaries that are kind of zoos popped up. But 10 years before the start of the story, there was a tragic accident, and that popularity kind of went through the floor, and now all of the remaining sanctuaries are barely able to survive. And then we come to where we're at now, where we've got a young zookeeper starting her first day and just following her, trying to repair that bridge between dinosaurs and humans and like change people's perceptions again. And I've been having such a lovely time. I read up to volume 5, so I know volume 6 is definitely out. I don't know if 7 is yet, but I would like to catch up on that. And then the last 2 are both priorities for reasons of I have access to multiple ones. The first of these is the last one that I want to get to as soon as possible to decide once and for all whether I want to finish it or continue it or not, and that is Black Butler. It's extremely convenient for me. My uncle's got it in his library. He's got quite a few of the volumes, and so that is one that I can literally pick up right now. I could go to my Kindle right now, start and continue and see if I want to get to it. I have read the first 3. I'm not having a great time, not enjoying the story as much as I do the way it's formatted in the anime. I definitely am preferring the anime, which I do not ever say, well, I do say it, very rarely say. And yeah, we've got a young aristocrat who, going through a lot of drama, ended up binding himself to a demon. And the demon basically now is helping him with his goings on. But the contract is that when he dies, the demon gets his soul. It's a thing. It's fun. It's great. But I don't know if I want to continue the actual manga, so I will get to that probably in the next few weeks, to be honest. And then the final one, probably no one's shock, my number 1 priority right now My Hero Academia. I want to try and get this series finished by the end of this year. I am currently 23 volumes out of 44 total. So I'm over halfway, only just, but I am over halfway. And we follow Deku, who in a society of people who are born with these quirks that give them superhero abilities, he is one of the, I think it's like 1% or 3%, something tiny percent, who does not have these powers. Only his hero, the world global hero, comes to him and is like, hey kid, how about you take on my power and continue my legacy for me? And he's like, eh, what? And then he ends up enrolled at a superhero training school, essentially. And we follow his journey to become the world's greatest hero. It's one of my all-time favourite series. I absolutely love it. The artwork is great. The characters are great. The story can be hit or miss. It's currently going into, like, the reason it's taken me so long in this current bit is we've reached the bit that I don't like very much, because it kind of changes POVs to the villains, and while I love a good villain story, the way it's done in this I didn't really enjoy, and it slowed it down a bit. But, you know, it's only 2 or 3 volumes and then we get back to the regular scheduled events, so I can deal with that. Again, Uncle has at least... How many My Hero do you have now? So he's got up to, like, in the 30s number of volumes, so I will be sorted with that and I should be able to get that done. So those are my priority manga, my top 20 priority. Let me know in the comments, have you got any manga that you are currently prioritizing? I'm always happy to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all good. I hope you're staying safe, and until next time.